The king of Eclipsia. There was this king. He had a wife and has been married for years but couldn't have a child. His wife told him to take another wife because he's not getting any younger and the kingdom needs an heir. The king agreed to get married and he got a second wife. The king, being a very nice and understanding man, whatever he buys for his first wife, he also buys for the second wife. The king and his second wife became close, and they agreed to name their first child Tristan. The first wife became so jealous. She felt the second wife wanted to take her place. So she ordered her guards to kidnap the second wife at night and kill her. The next day, news got to the king that his second wife was missing. The king was heartbroken. He sent his guards to look for her, but they couldn't find her. The first wife made up stories that she thinks the second wife ran off with a guard. A year later, the first wife took in and gave birth to a baby girl, and life was brought back to the palace. 20 years later, the king decided that he needs to marry off his daughter. She didn't like the idea of that, so she ran off to the neighboring kingdom. There, she met a farmer and became attracted to him. She told him that she is an orphan and she has nowhere to go. The young man took pity on her. He took her to his house and introduced her to his blind mother. His mother welcomed her with open arms. Over time, the farmer and the princess developed feelings and their love grew stronger. The farmer had his doubts about the lady. He has feelings for her, but he couldn't see anything wrong with falling in love with her. One day, when the farmer was outside his house, some men came to him. They told him they were sent to search the community for the missing princess of Eclipsia. They entered the house and saw the missing princess and also saw an old blind woman. They decided to take the three of them to the palace. At the palace, the king started questioning the young man on why he has his daughter. The young man, being confused and not really understanding what was going on, told the king all that the princess told him. The king was filled with rage and said the young man was lying to him and that the princess would never run away from home. The king was about to pass a judgment against the young man when his blind mother raised her head and said, "My king, it is me, your wife." And the king called her name. "Is that you?" She said, "Yes." The queen narrated her story, how the palace guards were giving orders by the senior queen to kill her, but they pitied her and made her blind so she wouldn't know her way home. She also said that the young man being accused of kidnap is his son, and the king was shocked. He asked her what is his name, and she said Tristan. The king asked him to come close, and he turned the young man's head and located the royal birthmark at the back of it. The king was moved to tears and hugged his long-lost son. The first wife was banished from the kingdom, and the prince, the second wife, and his daughter were welcomed back home, and they all lived happily ever